Creative Speaks gives young people the platform to allow their voices to be heard when speaking on things that impact their lives. Our podcast is talking about social injustices from the young point of view.
The podcast is about social issues and what's happening in the world, and young people talking about it from their point of view.
Our goal is to inspire young people around the world
to inform young people about problems and social injustices currently happening in our society today.
Creative Speaks is for young people from young people.
You're listening to Creative Speaks.
Hello and welcome back to Creative Speaks, where today we're tackling another really light issue with no heavy connotations at all. So we're going to be talking about religion and how we relate to it as young people in Scotland as well, where there's a bit of a religious divide, and just kind of moving forward into the future, how religion impacts our lives and how we relate to each other and have a community. So that's going to be our discussion. What's up, Niamh?
What is up? The heat is up.
The heat is high.
Is what's up? The heat is high. Yeah, I'm notoriously bad for not being able to deal with the heat. It's an actual problem. And I honestly don't know if I'll survive.
It's currently...
I think I'm gonna have to hibernate. The joke that I make all the time, what is it? It's what is it? It's sad, seasonal...
affective disorder?
I have seasonal affective disorder, but in the summer when it's too warm.
Maybe me too.
Because
it's awful.
Genuinely, and I can't...
Yeah, it's currently 27 degrees. That's crazy. That's not okay.
I honestly think I'm past the point of just I think I've accepted
death.
Yeah, but I feel it's not on. No, genuinely, that's what it feels like.
It does. It feels like I'm in an oven.
Especially because we've had to turn our fan off for the.
Yeah, I hope you guys appreciate the podcasting quality.
The way the suffering we have gone through.
Yeah,
but I feel right. Every summer comes around, I'm I don't have any good warm clothes. Good, not clothes for warm. It's so bad.
Summer clothes.
I'm actually roasting in my jeans here. But then in winter, I don't have any winter clothes.
Yeah, no.
So I don't really know how this is working out, and I don't really know what the wardrobe full of clothes
I've decided I'm going to learn how to sew this summer.
Yeah.
That's going to be my summer project.
I sewed for the first time. Because I took the shoulder blades out of my blazer because they were really annoying me, and then I'd had cut holes and I sewed it, and I'm literally so proud of myself. It looks like a proper seam and everything.
I had to sew the buttons back onto my blazer because they both fell off, but I couldn't find one, so they're two different sized buttons. No one noticed though. No one's noticed about two different sized buttons, so I think
no one said anything.
No one said anything about two different sized buttons. I've also had a pair of leggings that had holes in it, but I was really attached to, and they don't make the leggings anymore, so I've had to sew them, and they're kind of janky, but I don't really care.
I was I'm going to bead to this top.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to see?
Well, the thing is, I've had to take a break because I needed to wear it for our drama show, because we needed a white top. It was the only white top I had, so I wore it for that. Right, we're doing a lot of dancing. Very warm, those dressing rooms they're roasting, right? Anyway, so then I go back and I'm sewing it on. I'm something stinks in here, and I kept checking myself and going having so many showers because I was absolutely I must reek. It was BO. This is a bit TMI. I don't know why I'm telling this. It was and it took me ages to figure out that it was the top.
It was the shirt
that I'd sewed because obviously I'd worn it when we were...
Did you not wash it when you got back? Well, you couldn't because you had some of the beads on it.
Because it was the beads.
Well, how did you expect to clean it?
I don't know why. I don't know how I didn't think. It was plain stupidity. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind. But now I'm I don't know, because it was already partially beaded. So now I'm I don't know if I can put this in the wash because it's not fully
You could hand wash it, I guess.
So much
Can
work.
I be bothered?
No, I'll probably end up hand washing it, but yeah. But I can't continue working when it smells like that. Anyway,
I sewed. Have you seen those people make little appliques out of fabric and they sew them onto shirts? It's just a little picture. And you make it out of fabric. I sewed that for Katrina, I don't know if we can say her name. I sewed that for a friend's birthday, and I did the
Oh, did you?
you know, like the David Bowie, like the lightning bolt. I did that, but I did my
That's
research,
so nice.
and I because I don't have a sewing machine, so I can't like seam, like I can't like hem or whatever, like the edges of it. So I did like it's a type of stitch called like a blanket stitch.
Yes.
And it like protects it against fraying, and I was honestly really proud of myself. I don't have any pictures of it because I forgot to take pictures of it before I wrapped the gift. So yeah, but she's receiving it tomorrow, so I hope she likes it.
Oh, so I was about to say, like, she won't get it spoiled because this isn't going out tomorrow. It's a bit longer than that. Not to give you a peek behind the curtains, but
Still, we've kind of like gone off here. Jenna, what's up, Jenna?
I don't know. Oh, my beach day. I went to Ayr Beach with a bunch of my friends. It was Ayr Beach. We went all the way to Ayr. We took the bus. It was a bit. I don't even know what happened. I don't like beaches. I'm just gonna say it. I hate beaches.
you need a plaster. Rhea told me this.
Oh my word! Can we talk about this plaster?
Yeah.
I did need a plaster. I've got two stories about this plaster. That plaster, strongest plaster I've ever had. I need
What
to
is
like.
it? What brand?
I don't know. It was Rhea's.
Rhea's. I'll need to inquire.
We will need to inquire. Genuinely the best plaster I've ever used in my entire life. It was on multiple showers, it stayed full.
Whoa.
Like, I was in the sea with it. It is such an impressive plaster.
You need to ask about that. I
do.
will as well.
I think I might see her tonight. I will actually. So I'll ask her
Amazing.
tonight. But I've got another. So I had that plaster on, and it was like on its last legs at this point. This has been like ages though, since I'd first put the plaster on at the beach day. And it was on its last legs, and I was in the shower. I was like, oh, it'll fall off in the shower, right? So then I stood. It's bright blue, this plaster, right? Because it's one of the plasters you can bake with.
Oh,
Like, you know how when you're baking, you might choose a blue plaster in case it falls into the food. Anyway, so I'm like having a shower, and then I stand on something. I'm like, oh, that's the plaster gone. I look down. There's no blue. So I look to the other side, there's bright blue still on my heel. The plaster's still, I lift my foot off. It's a dead spider. It's not just a dead spider, but it's it's been battered by the water, because obviously must have fell down the drain pipe, then climbed up the drain pipe, and then drowned in the water, and then been
Stood on.
battered by the water. So now the legs are like hanging up. So you're all like going, that's disgusting. Imagine
Standing on it.
And I just finished washing my hair, so I still had like a good chunk of the shower. I don't even think I'd put conditioner in yet. I had like so much more of that shower left to go.
I am
just
so
stood
glad
on a
this
spider.
wasn't me. I hate spiders more than anything
Really?
else. Like, I am so terrified of them. And I had a similar incident. I came out of the shower, and I was sitting on the toilet, led down on my phone, scrolling. I need to say led down. I need to clarify that. And I literally just saw a flash of brown, and I looked down on my lap. Massive brown spider, and I just ran. Yeah, that was the worst moment. And it's still on the run. I made my dad go up and see, and he was like, it's not there, and I was like, come on, you had one job, was to catch it, and it's gone. Yeah. So it could be anywhere.
I don't really mind spiders that much. I'm
crazy.
not like that scared of them, but I'm like a really paranoid person. Like when I was a kid, I used to think that like there were like cameras in my earrings, and people were watching me like through the cameras in my earrings. So I don't really wear stud earrings that often anymore. She says as she's got stud earrings on, but like that was like I genuinely thought that was something that really scared me as a kid. So I always think like the spiders and the flies and stuff in my bathroom, they're like watching me shower, and I'm like, you're like, no, please stop.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I'm always like, why are you
here?
What's the need? Give me a bit of privacy here.
Yeah.
I used to think that there was witches that would come through my window, which is like normal behaviour for like a I don't know, 6-year-old or something. But it means that I don't sleep. To this day, I still don't sleep with my window open.
I can't sleep without my window open.
And it's like, right now it's
I
a
don't
real
sleep with
pain in the bum, because it's absolutely roasting, but my window can't be open, so the witches don't. And then sometimes, the witches, right, this is very important, so the witches would eat your like would eat. They ate people, right? They were cannibal witches. It's important to
In
know.
your imagination.
No, these witches, they were important, but
You kind of acted like they were real there for a second. You went, no, these witches.
the
You
cannibal
didn't say they weren't real.
but they were really weak, right? And they hated eating, so they couldn't eat through bone, so they wouldn't eat your face, right?
There's so much lore here. Like, this is so incredibly
They wouldn't eat your
detailed.
bone, but their favourite part was your eyes. They loved eyes. So I would sleep, and still, to this day, there would be times where I still sleep like this. Like, with the, all the way up to my chin, cover all it, make sure every part of my, like, skin's covered. Because they're so weak, they couldn't, like, lift your thing up. And an eye mask, and it's why I still, to this day, wear an eye mask.
Really?
Do the witches still speak to you, Jenna? Do they still,
No,
do they still come
I
at
had to
night?
turn my light on because I was looking up and there was these, this is like a month ago maybe a bit more than a month ago, but like I was 17 years old and there was these shapes, there was these like shadows in my ceiling and it was like, my lights were off and everything and it looked like witches, so I had to go and turn my light on to like stare at my ceiling to like make sure I realised that there's no witches in my room. 17 years old.
Crazy.
Anyway.
We've like completely abandoned the structure of this.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Alex, what's
Oh,
up?
that was completely unprompted. Wow.
I know, wow, look at me.
Guess what I've started doing?
What? Oh!
Yeah, yes, whatever.
This is a podcast, so you will have to tell us.
Oh yeah. I just did a hand movement to suggest on a steering wheel, which is the one thing I can't do at all. Like,
Oh,
see,
yeah,
when
you
I-
were telling me
yeah.
about this. He
I
goes
do
like,
this. I like don't
instead
feed-
of, what is it?
I don't.
You gotta feed
and
it
then
through.
embarrassingly, she brought out like a toddler's like steering wheel and was like, "Show me you can feed it," and I was like, "I can feed it. I can. I know what you mean. I just can't do that. Like, my grip's too tight. Like I'm like, I just don't want to let go because then I'll crash. And I didn't even crash once. I've not crashed once yet. Everyone proud of me. Good.
Yeah.
No, I am
Good.
proud of you. It's a very good job. Yeah, I'm kind of. I get quite like unreasonably confident about things that like I've never tried before.
Yeah.
So I would like with
Yeah,
the
it's always
strap that I
comments to say
sewed.
what-
I was like, "This is gonna be." I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, don't worry. Like, it's only gonna take me like 15 minutes." It took me like the entirety of 2 episodes of Drag Race, which is like over 2 hours. And I was like, oh, but I did it and it looks good. But I do feel quite confident in my ability to drive because I am a beast at Mario Kart.
That's my thing, is I don't think I could drive because I was really bad driving Roblox cars. Like driving cars on Roblox I couldn't do, so like if I can't even drive a car in Roblox, how can I drive a car in real life?
I couldn't drive
So,
a car in
never got driving
Lego
license.
games, and people somehow know this about me. Like people, twice I've had someone say to me, "Oh, you'd be terrible at driving in a Lego game," and I'm like, "How did you know that?" Like it's scary. Like my dad, my friend, Freudian slip.
I hate Freud. Oh, we had to study him for psychology.
Oh my, same.
He's such a creep.
Yeah, it's a bit
We
weird.
had to study his crime stuff in modern studies.
I guess that's maybe a bit weird,
Except-
less weird.
I used to call him Freud, and it became a big
Freud.
joke, and we only called him Freud.
Anyway, sorry, I need to tell my
Your
Legos.
friend dad.
No, yeah, my friend dad. He's not anything like my dad. Said like, oh yeah, like he said someone else was saying about learning to drive, and he was like, I can imagine you'd be good on the road, unlike him veering into people in Lego games. And I was like, how did you know that? And he was like, what? I just thought from your personality. And I was like, that was like eerie. I was eerie. Because I remember one time. Oh, this is maybe why I thought this, because one time I was playing Lego City Undercover, and I was like veering about, like hitting bollards and stuff, and my dad was like, don't do that, and I was like, it's a video game, and he was like, I know, but it might be giving you bad habits, and I'm like, I'm 6. Anyway, that was a weird memory I've just unlocked. Sorry about that. So say hello to Shemi, who's going to be joining us just to provide a little bit of a different perspective on what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be talking about religion today, and I think it's probably best if we just go around and say how we relate to religion. In other words, like what religion we are. But yeah, so but we know
Our
it can be more.
relationship with religion. Our relationship.
Our shape, yeah, because it's more complex than just like whether you fit into a category. It's, you know, I mean, it's a lot to get into right now, but just a summary. So how do you feel about religion, Niamh?
I went to like Bible study as a kid. Like my school ran a Bible study, and I went to all the like, you know, had like the local churches, they run their like summer programs, right? I went to all those. I was in a church choir as well.
I don't think I knew this.
Yeah, no. But I don't really follow a religion as of now, and I don't necessarily think that I did then. I think I just found
like
it interesting to like learn about.
So it wasn't like your parents were saying for you to do that, it was just your own interest?
No, yeah, it was just something that like I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Jena?
I'm not religious. I've never been religious. Like my parents aren't religious. I wasn't raised religious. I don't think, like, I don't want to say I've got like a negative view of religion, but I wouldn't say I've got like a positive one.
Okay.
Like it's just
kind of neutral. Like, good points and bad points.
Yeah. But then I've also had experiences that maybe like taint that to both the positive side. Like I've seen the like amazing stuff religion can do, but I've also seen the not so good side of it.
So so neither of my parents are particularly religious. I think they spoke about to me like they spoke about God as I was like growing up, but God did this, but I think it wasn't like an actual. Did you either of your parents say that?
No.
Like my mum would say, like sometimes she'd say like, "Oh, I'm kind of glad that God gave me 2 boys" or something like that about me and my brother. And it's not that she's actually Christian, but I think she just kind of said it as a kind of turn of phrase. But she was quite she went through like a bit of a bizarre, like really strong Catholic phase when she was younger, and like went to mass every morning and stuff. And I think her mum and dad are kind of, what would you say, like kind of culturally Catholic. I think that's like a big thing, especially where they're
Glasgow.
from. Yeah, especially like where it's not like not many people I think actually go to mass every morning and you know, do all the Catholic things, but it's more about a community and like a kind of sense of belonging with other Catholics, and that's like something that I still see in my family, although I don't really know if anyone would say, well, like they would say they're Catholic, but they're not super religious. But I've never been kind of I've never really lent towards religion or felt that it was something for me. Like I've never like been entirely convinced by it, or I'm struggling with how to words that, but my mum and dad aren't, and like, you know, I've never been like, that's how it's been for me. Like I've never been religious, and oh my god, what am I trying to say? I wasn't born in a religious household, and I am not religious to this day. That's a very complicated way of saying that. But I do like, I've been to church just with like family and stuff. I've kind of been involved in kind of church activities about like Niamh, and I struggle like with how to word it, but I think it's like a kind of unspoken constant in my family, in my like extended family, of like being part of something like that, finding identity and being Catholic and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for it, and I have a lot of religious friends. I think there's quite a lot of, I said this earlier, I think there's quite a lot of quite devout like Christians in our, like around where we live. Would you say that's
I
true?
actually never noticed it until people outright said to me, "Oh, I'm Christian."
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really act it, so you can never fully tell. So
yeah, but like I don't know if it's the same in other areas. I don't know what it is about around here that like it's like a certain type of like quite like fundamentalist Christian that I think there's quite a lot of around here. But yeah. Anyway, how do you relate to religion, Shimmy?
well, I was born in a religious household, so I initially lived with my grandma, who was Christian, and she would take me and my big sister to her church every Sunday, and on Fridays as well. It was great. I loved it. I had lots of friends there. We did a bunch of things.
That's when you were staying in London?
Yeah. So that was like when I was baby till like 10. And then my gran died, so my mum took full care of me. It's not that she wasn't before, but she was kind of like in London, and then she was like in Nigeria, so it was like back and forth. And then she moved here like full time, and we would go to church still every single Sunday. And I think that I wouldn't say I have a per se positive relationship with religion itself, but with like God and like Jesus and like the relationship that you have in Christianity, I have a positive relationship with that. But religion as a whole can be interesting sometimes.
So like I think a lot of people feel that way, where they have mixed views about, because you can see like day to day like the harms that it can cause, but I don't know whether I would say that those harms would be there either way, but religion is using it as an excuse for it, or to try and justify it.
Like the scapegoat thing again, where it's just, I don't like these people or whatever it is, so I'm going to use this as a way to justify the way that I think, to make me feel less bad.
And it's almost like then you can't challenge that behaviour, because you can't challenge someone's religion, whereas we need to accept that you can have your own beliefs about. I think a crucial thing is that people don't understand the difference between following something yourself and then imposing that on someone else when they're not even a member of that, or even if they are a member of that religion, because everyone has a different relationship with the religion and how they interpret it and how they choose to live their life.
You see it so often, and it's about it's about a personal relationship for Christians, but their personal relationship with God and with Jesus. I think that's something that's really interesting, rather than like a broad thing of following.
And I also feel like as well, I think it's only recently that I've started seeing people realise that Christianity isn't a religion, it's supposed to be a personal relationship. Like everything in Christianity is personal. The only thing that you could consider like community is we're supposed to encourage one another, but everything else is supposed to be personal. So when I see other people like, oh yeah, they're not Christian, they have to do this, oh they're a Christian and they're not doing that, or they're doing this, I'm like, it's personal, it's not about you, it's about them and God.
And in times gone by, the church played a massive role in towns and stuff, and I think it was quite a healthy thing where people would just come together every Sunday and reflect as a whole and be like together, and I think that moving away from that, because I think the amount of Christians that go to church is probably decreasing. Would you say that? And obviously the percentage of the UK who's Christian is also decreasing. But it's kind of interesting to see how I do struggle with it, because it's like, although I'm not religious, I really see the value of it and as a community and as like a kind of force in the community when it's used for good, obviously. And obviously it's been used for bad for thousands of years, like crusades, witch hunts, all that, and it's like that was a time where it was almost like mob mentality. But when it's used for good, I think it played such an important role, and I do think like something needs to, if we like as a country, which we are, is moving away a little bit from that kind of church element. I think we need something to be a bit more of a community. Like either way, like I don't really have a solution for it, but I don't know. It's leaving a bit. I feel like it's maybe leaving a bit of a gap.
I feel like the whole community thing, I feel like it's less to do with the religion and more to do with the people and humans just wanting to be a part of something and feel welcome in an area. And the church has done that, but it's also pushed a lot of people away, which is probably why less people go.
So you would put that on the fault of the church, because I see a lot of people put that on the fault of just a general decline in morals or something like that, like that society's generally becoming less moral. And I don't know.
I've seen a lot of people as well like begin to have a relationship with God, but they like they don't want to go to the church because of how they've been treated in it before. And I actually was talking to someone, and she was saying how she's a Christian now, but she never had a good relationship with the church, and she was like always judged, so she kind of just stopped going. And I was like, that's really, really sad that somewhere that's supposed to be like community and like show love isn't doing that and making people feel like they can't go to church and in turn can't have a relationship with God. That's very odd to me.
Yeah, because it's not a very like Christian value, you know.
No.
Like I feel like it's focused on like there's too much focus on one passage, which maybe implies that like you shouldn't have same-sex relations, and rather than the wealth of teaching of like Jesus and kind of like kindness and respect for people, that's just it's like it's because it's not an overt rule, it gets completely like it's a subjective thing, being kind and being respectful, but because it's that way, I feel like people kind of forget about it when they're in a lot of situations.
I also feel like a lot of Christians like to cherry pick verses. Like I've seen a lot of Christians be like, oh yeah, but non-believers are cherry picking verses to use it against us, but they do the same thing to other Christians. The amount of time they're like, oh yeah, but the Bible says like a man and man shouldn't lay together, so you can't be gay, blah blah blah. And it's a bit like, I think this is what I personally believe anyway, I'm not sure about other Christians, but I personally believe that it's about conviction. In Christianity we believe that the Holy Spirit will personally let you know that this is bad, this is right, don't do this, do that. And when I see other Christians like, oh, but God told me that, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, it's like, it's not about you at all. It's nothing to do with you, and it's actually a sin to not mind your business and to be in other people's business, because it has nothing to do with you. It means that you're letting yourself sin more. Because you're like, oh yeah, you're not doing that, you're judging. That's not your job.
And it's also like God, and the way I see it as a like non-Christian is that either way, whether it's made kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, whether it was made by God to help us live a better life, or it was made by people to kind of convince other people to live a healthier and a happier life, the impact is the same, and that people do things which make their life better. And see, when it comes to something like that, or certain things to do with like legislating like zero exceptions abortion bans, it's like that inarguably does not make their life better to do that, to put a restriction on someone like that, which is the whole point. Is like things that are taught in the Bible aren't just taught for the sake of it. It is to make your life a better and more of a better force for other people in your life as well. So I think that's like a thing that people need to remember, is that whether it's made by God or made by people, it's the intention of the Bible is for us to live a happier life and to make life happier for others. So that's my little
I do think
impassioned speech.
like the cherry picking thing is really interesting, because like it really frustrates me when like I see people like art like in comment sections or something, like throwing Bible verses at each other, and it's like, guys, it's not the point. It's really not the point. Like as you were saying, it's about your own personal relationship. Like I read a really interesting article about a Muslim man who's gay, which is like you're not allowed to do in Islam, and he was saying that like basically the idea is you can be gay, but if you act on it, then it's a sin. He was saying that like, as well. But he was saying that it's like, I act on my feelings because that's how I will live a happy and fulfilling life, and that's what will make me happy in life. It's then up to God to judge me for that. It's not up to other people. So it's again the thing of just like minding your business and just letting people live.
Because at the end of the day, you cannot argue that it has any negative impact. There's no argument for that other than mental, like, kind of ill-baked ones where it's like, oh, it's for the betterment of society, like to create more children, but it's like, realistically, is that an issue?
It's really interesting. People are like, you're talking about how like judging, as I said, and people are willing to damage their own relationship with God to try and get in the way of people who have like a positive relationship with God.
It's because the reason behind that is because they want more power. It's also spoken against in the Bible. Is to have power over people and be the authority, when really, I don't want to speak for you, but I think it's quite a Christian belief to think that we are very much all equal under God, and that He is the authority. That sounds bad, but like, no one should be able to dictate how someone else has a relationship with their religion and perceives that and acts on it how they want to. So just as we always do, to kind of speak about it in terms of young people, what do you think is the place for religion in young people's lives going forward, because it's becoming less of a place in young people's life?
Yeah, I feel like religion, from what I've seen, has had a positive impact on a lot of young people, and it's kind of given them an identity. And for me, for one, it's definitely helped with my mental health, but I also do know that it has had like a negative effect on a lot of young people as well. So I feel like, religion has had a negative impact a lot of the times, but relationship has had a positive impact. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that because so much of what we see of Christianity in the media, and like, because we have like people using Christian like this kind of evangelical Christian movement, white supremacist Christian movement in America, that kind of is so un-Christian in nature. Half the people are like millionaires and stuff, and I feel like there's a quote about like it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven, or something like that. And I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, because we see so much of that like negative association in the media, I feel like a lot of young people would have an aversion towards religion, or would automatically view it negatively, where I do think that religion, even though I'm not religious myself, I think it could have a really positive impact of providing a sense of belonging for a lot of kind of lost or increasingly struggling young people who feel a bit of like apathy, or feel that they don't belong or something because of the kind of slightly tumultuous environments we're in, where a lot of things don't really seem to be accepted anymore. But yeah, I do think that it would have a really good place. I personally, it's interesting for me to say that, and then like I'm just not religious. like maybe it would do me good, but like I feel like I can't get, there's like elements of it that I can't get past on like a personal level. But my friend said something to me really interesting like last week when we were talking about it. He said if I'm ever converted to be religious, it would be on a emotional level and not on a logical one. And I think that's really like a really true thing that about people who grow up in non-religious households. They only really become Christian if they have like an emotional connection with it, or if something happens that makes them move towards that as like almost as a way of recovery and like moving on with their life. And I think that's such a positive thing.
Can I actually say something?
Yeah, sorry.
As well. Even people who do grow up in religious households, like for me, it was a very personal, very, very, very personal experience that I went through that actually converted me to Christianity, because I always believed in God. I was like, I tell everyone in primary school, oh yeah guys, Jesus loves you all, like it's really nice, I think you should come to my church. But that was pretty much it. It was, I think like 3 years ago that I actually like properly converted to Christianity, and that was like so completely personal, and no like kind of logic or like amount of Bible reading could have made me Christian, because in my eyes, like, not that I didn't see it as real, but it was kind of stories more than anything else. It was just like, oh yeah, Jonah was in the whale's mouth. Wow, Danny was in the lion's den. Wowza. But it was never like,
wowza.
Wow, that really, really happened and God really did that. That wasn't it for me until it was something personal. So I get a bit confused when I see people trying to convert Christian people to Christianity through like, oh yeah, but Jesus died for you. If someone's not a Christian, okay,
right,
but like, it doesn't do anything.
You're going to go to hell. It's like, I don't really care because I don't believe.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of I feel like a lot of misconception about what hell is, and become more of a.
Yeah.
I feel like you've spoken about this.
I have. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna go to hell if you don't believe in God, and it's like that's not what hell is. And you're gonna burn in hellfire. That's not what hell is. Hell is eternal separation from God. The whole idea of hell is that if you don't want to spend your time on heaven, which is limited, with God, why would you want to spend eternity with him? So you go to the opposite place, which is considered hell, because you realise, oh wait, actually I really actually like God, so can you like take me? And he's like, you didn't want to spend 100 years with me, so you wouldn't want to spend eternity with me. So when people are like, oh, you're gonna go to hell, I don't think non-Christians actually care at all, because why would they want to spend eternity with someone that they didn't want to spend their life on earth with?
Exactly.
Like, it's not really a negative
and
thing.
that's like a crossover in our beliefs, where it's like, I kind of do believe in that. I kind of do believe that when I die I'll be separate from God. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that that's a kind of the other depiction of hell is kind of that is kind of a fear-mongering tactic, and like how do you feel about religious education in school?
I actually really liked it when I was little. I liked learning about all the different religions. It was really, really interesting.
So did you go to a Christian primary school? Like no, so just a.
I mean, I don't know if it was technically considered a Christian primary school. I mean, we went to the church when it was Easter, and we'd sing like I'm a spring chicken and stuff like that.
Our school was the same, but we had like.
Did you go to a religious school, like a primary school?
Well, it wasn't like a religious school.
Because I was convinced you did.
Like, I mean, like,
no.
Like a Catholic
it was the type of
school
where, like, end of term we would go to church and stuff, but it wasn't necessarily like a Christian school. Like, when I say a Catholic school.
Yeah, when I say a Christian school, I mean like a Catholic school, but I'm thinking like you wouldn't go to a Catholic school, obviously. So don't know why I asked that, but how do you feel about like nowadays, like the place of schools and developing someone's religion?
I think it's good to make kids aware that there are different, religions, but also make sure that they know they don't have to choose one. Just learning about it so they're more like socially aware. And to be honest, it's very interesting. All the stories are really, really interesting to look at. But I don't think that it should be kind of used as a way to turn children religious, because children are like easily manipulated. Their minds are very malleable. I think it's something that they need to then look at when they get older and can make that decision for themselves.
Yeah, I know, like, growing up when I went to school, because I loved like RMPS and all that. I think like, or RE in school, but like RMPS, it's so interesting getting to learn not just about Christianity but about like Islam and Sikhism,
Buddhism,
like all that stuff, like Buddhism, like it's so, all that stuff's so interesting. And then when you go into high school and you do like the philosophy side of things and learning all about like philosophy, like, and all these different things that have like at some points like religious connection, I think that's so interesting. But then at the same time, when I went to primary school, it was every end of term, so not just Easter. We went Easter, Christmas, and I think summer as well.
Yeah,
our last day of school we'd spend at church, which for me, like not being somebody who was religious, was always quite awkward, because I always felt really like out of place, because it's not something that's, and it's like having to, because they'd always say like, you can put your head down and pray and thing me along, but you don't have to. And at first I'd always do it, and then it got to a point when I was like, well, this isn't me, I've got no connection to this.
Not authentic.
And my mum used to be, she's a primary school teacher now, but she used to be an SLA, so a support for learning assistant, and she worked at the same school as me. And she would come up with the kids she was assisting, and it'd be everyone would have their head down and praying except me and my mum, and we'd always just like lock eye contact really awkwardly, because it wasn't either of us, and it kind of put us in a bit of an awkward position. But I think like that's a bit but then the other part of it, actually learning about religion, I think is so interesting. I think it's so vital to opening people's understanding of other people and stopping you from being like a very limited person.
I was kind of similar, like especially with like going to church with the school, because I was in my school choir, so we would always like get up and like sing some of our, they weren't like religious songs that we did in choir, it was just, I think we had like a Proclaimers medley or something that we did, and like we would get up and we would sing
like in front of like the school and the parents and stuff at the church. But I was always sort of like, I guess, kind of in my head about it, being like, I don't really feel like this is my place to be up here in front of these people. Do you know what I mean? And we would also have like the older kids go up and read Bible verses, and I remember once I was asked to do it, so I did it because I was that kid who was like like, I've been given this opportunity, like I'm gonna be the best, like I'm gonna be so much better than everyone else. But it's like, again, it kind of felt like not my place to be talking about it. But even like when I went to like Bible study in primary school, it was our music teacher in school who ran it, and it was Fridays after school, and I went genuinely because like I found it interesting, right? I found it interesting to learn about, not necessarily because I believed it myself. But again, that was another thing where I was like, I'm here to learn, I'm here to observe, I'm here to...
I think that's a really healthy way to approach Christianity, like just to learn. You don't need to...
You don't have to
believe.
Yeah.
You just, like, that'll come, like, well... that'll come. I say this like I'm an actual, like, vicar. Why am I saying... That'll come. As if I'm, like... I'm not... Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, that would come if it was going to come, but you can't force it. Like, I think that's a healthy way to like approach it, is just to be someone who goes in because they're interested.
I still have my Bible from Bible study.
I have a Usborne children's
and it has
Bible.
a picture of a sheep on the front. Yeah, I think it was like a kid's Bible. It's like there's like little illustrations of like Jesus and the disciples, but they're all like farm animals.
Oh.
So Jesus is like a wee lamb, and it's really cute.
That's really nice. Did your school give you that?
Our like the music teacher who ran it, she like talked to her church, I believe, and she got us all our own Bible.
Did you guys ever get those people in who came in and like handed the Bibles out in school?
Well, we went to the same school.
I know, we did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not the same primary school, but the same high school.
That's
but in S1.
Did we not go to the same primary school?
Oh,
no, we did not.
SU.
No, it was like there was an SU, but no, we had a big assembly, and it was these guys came in with Bibles, and they were like, "Guys, we've got so many Bibles," and then they handed it out. I didn't take a Bible, but they handed out Bibles on the way out, and they also around this they showed all the people because they'd been to loads of different places and handed out Bibles, and they were like, "This is probably not allowed." I don't actually know, but they were like, "Is anyone here a Partick Thistle fan?" And as a Partick Thistle fan, I put my hand up. Because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before. Literally wearing a Partick Thistle shirt. I put my hand up, and then they were like, we gave them a Bible, and then they were like, yeah, they'll need it. And I was like, well, rude, because we might not be the best football team in the world. But they had the Bible was, it was camel, it was black and, no, it was grey and white camel, and it had a Partick Thistle. It didn't say like Bible on it, it just had a Partick Thistle badge on it. And I don't think that's allowed. I don't think it should be allowed to put like another logo
brand on the Bible.
A non-religious logo on a Bible seems a bit...
Especially when that is not a religious organisation.
Especially Partick Thistle's like big thing, because...
Yeah, exactly.
So
like, see if it was Celtic.
Yeah. The whole thing is like...
The whole thing is that...
Yeah.
Not taking a side here.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to segue into, like, there's quite a... You've not lived in Scotland for that... Well, yeah, a good few years now. We live in an area where there's not it doesn't have a massive presence. I mean, there's so many Rangers fans in the area we live in, like where it's like I can definitely feel that as a presence. But
I didn't realise until Saturday I went to Hillhead and I was like, whoa, this is roughly the Rangers area.
Wait, what? Sorry?
I didn't realise that we were in quite a Rangers area until I went to Hillhead and it was very Rangers.
Oh really? Yeah.
And it's crazy because the Catholic school is like right there. Like from Hillhead Primary School you can see the Catholic schools.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers Celtic thing and the religious divide between that is something that's really interesting.
I think it's such a cultural divide.
Yeah.
Not just
rather than
because
religion
has obviously
itself
got like a huge place in culture.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you were saying, like not that many. Like obviously, I'm not saying Celtic fans don't go to mass, but I'm saying like quite a lot
of them don't
go to mass.
Yeah.
But when they say they're Catholic, they mean they're like culturally Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they. Yeah.
I think that's a really important distinction to make. and for people to understand if you're not. I don't really think anyone who's not from Scotland would be listening to this, but if you're not, like, it's a really important thing that these people who like stab each other, they're not like I don't believe in the same God as you. Like it's.
Or no, they do believe in the same God. They just
Well,
believe
yeah,
in
no.
the same way
I know.
to worship that God.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe you should make bigger. I don't believe your churches should be that big.
Yeah,
But it's that like cultural part of it, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that's not what it is. It's basically, well, there's a really long and complex history that we're not going to get into, but that's emerged from religion.
Yeah.
But realistically, at the time and still to this day, that religion was symbolic of belonging and community.
Yeah.
I think I'm being very. Don't know.
Because I think it was like Celtic was formed on people needing a community. It was a bunch of
Yeah.
Catholic Irish immigrants who had come over who were
And
getting
we're
turned
facing.
away.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't
I
allowed to
actually
apply
did
for
that in
jobs.
history and I thought
Then
it
you
was
did.
good.
That's literally everything I'm basing this off of, higher history.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like facing discrimination in Scotland because of their Catholicism, and they wanted a community. Same with Hibs in Edinburgh, and they formed that community. And then the rivalry, both Hibs, because there's not a lot of people know this, right? Because the Catholic Protestant divide isn't like as much of a thing in Edinburgh. People don't know this, but there's like in Edinburgh there's a rivalry, and it's Hibs Hibernian. The two silliest football names I'm just going to say Hibernian and Heart of Midlothian. Hibs and Hearts, and they've got another like really big rivalry, and that rivalry is based on
Hibs is
Rangers.
Catholic.
Hibs is Catholic, Hearts is Rangers. That rivalry is based on Rangers. No, that rivalry is based on religion. Hibs is Catholic, Hearts are Protestant, and it's another thing.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But because it's not as like you don't
But
see
it's-
as many
yeah.
like big violent encounters and stuff like that between the two, because that like cultural and religious divide isn't as big in that city.
Yeah, and then obviously it's even more so in Ireland to the point of
Yeah.
war. But religious extremists we haven't discussed. Any thoughts on religious extremists?
So
Any thoughts on
We don't-
religious extremists?
I don't mean extremists like terrorists. Like we have written down like this. Maybe it isn't correct to call them extremists, but we've written down like Mormonism and stuff like that. Especially like what's the really fundamentalist Mormonism is like a branch of that church. Do you have any like insight into how you feel towards that as a Christian?
So I actually find like Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses quite interesting, and their beliefs are very interesting.
Yeah, it is really
But
interesting.
I know,
yeah.
right? Like
It's
I was
so,
set
like-
down and just like be infatuated
I know.
by it. But I wouldn't consider them Christians because they don't actually follow the Bible.
Yeah.
They kind of have their own book and beliefs, so it doesn't exactly fit into Christianity. So I get a little bit irritated when people are like, "Oh yeah, but Mormons are Christians." No, they're not.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Like you can't be Christians if you believe that Jesus
Yeah.
was in Utah, or
Yeah.
no, what? Not even Utah, America.
So there's that.
Eventually in Utah.
Eventually, Utah.
They
The whole
they don't really fit in with what the Bible teaches and stuff. Like
In
a
lot
a
of
lot
cases,
of like
yeah.
Mormonism, for example. I know it has like a lot of like racial
Yeah.
beliefs,
Yeah.
which is interesting because it doesn't really fit in with the whole love your neighbour as yourself.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then Jehovah's Witnesses, for example, they do not believe that Jesus is God, I think, or something like that, or Jesus is Son of God, one or the other. It's called Christianity, so it's like you kind of have to believe
kinda
in
in
the
the
Christ
name,
part.
guys.
So if you don't
because
believe in that,
That's like the cult. But then if you look like Islam, that believes that Jesus was just a prophet rather
Yeah.
than Son of God. So that's I'm not gonna say, but like that if that's the distinction between Christianity
Yeah, in Islam.
and Islam, then like
they don't really
that doesn't really house that part of.
exactly.
What do you say to? I've just thought of this. What do you say to the argument that we should be trying to preserve a kind of Christian British culture that's kind of been perpetuated by like reform and stuff by as an argument against immigration, that we need to there's some kind of British culture that we need to be preserving and not diluting by letting predominantly Muslims into the country.
So when you say British culture, what are we...
Exactly. Exactly.
No offence.
So the argument is that there's same with America, like the argument is that there's a culture of Britain that's being diluted by Muslims of I knew you were going to be against this. I don't really know why I brought this up, as if you're going to be like, I love Nigel Farage.
I voted for him when I'm a celebrity.
But anyway, I don't really know what the point of that was, but I just wanted to bring it up as a kind of subtopic. That would you consider the UK to be culturally Christian?
I'm trying to think of a way to word this.
Yeah.
If we're looking at like British culture, well, they technically did colonise a bunch of countries.
Yeah.
So there's not really much culture there. If they didn't, if they wanted to preserve their culture, then
a lot of
they
our culture is stolen.
Colonise other countries and then just take their culture. So there's not really a culture there. And I think that if Britain is a Christian country, kind of. Yeah. They would be open for other people to come to their country, just like they did.
When Reform UK and right wing people say Christian values and British culture, and they want to preserve Christianity, they're using Christianity as like a metaphor for white people.
Yeah.
And very much. And it's to try and disguise the racism, but it's like...
Yeah.
It's so ironic though, because like it's the same with here and it's the same with America. Like our whole culture in air quotes, is built off of the cultures of other people. Like it's literally the whole point, guys.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Yeah.
You clearly don't know what you're trying to actually preserve.
So... Yeah, I'm sorry to hit you with another question like this, but in the UK, our church is connected to our state. We're not like America, which is secular, so their church has complete separation from the...
Well, supposedly.
Supposedly.
So they say.
Yeah.
They're not big on that like whole constitution thing anymore. So
no, not
really following it.
But in the UK, the head of our state is technically, quote, appointed by God.
I don't like the whole phrase "appointed by God." Like in history, when we did the Tsar, and the Tsar's like chosen by God. Every single time my teacher would say that, I'd be like,
"Yeah, well, that's still in our constitution as what the king technically is." And the king is the head of the Church of England, and we have priests in the House of Lords. I think we do.
Bishops,
sorry. Yeah, bishops in the House of Lords who are unelected and have a sway on politics. What do you think that the church has a place in our government? It's a heavy question.
I don't think
because it does, but
exactly. In some senses, it can. But in other senses, I don't think so, because you have to keep in mind that not everyone's going to be a Christian, so they're not going to follow the same beliefs that us Christians do. So I think it's a bit unfair. It's kind of forcing our beliefs on other people, which is completely unfair, because you wouldn't want to be... like, for example, let's say we were in Dubai. Dubai is a Muslim country. It's like Islamic. You wouldn't per se want them to be essentially shoving their religion down your throat just because you live there. But then it's also like that country is that religion, so it depends how you look at it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for your insight. We're gonna have to wrap it up there, but thanks for tuning in again to Creative Speaks. That was a lot of that was short. No, it wasn't. No, actually, we're up to time. But what was I going to say? Yeah, that was a really insightful episode. Thanks to Shemi for coming on and giving her really. I feel like your views are very like developed and mature and
I was
and like very unswayed by other people. Like you clearly have come to it yourself, and that's very admirable. So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up there. But thank you.
Also, that was our first guest.
Yeah.
And I think we should say, if anybody's listening to this and they think they know a guest or they think they would be an awesome guest, they should tell us. Maybe we can get them on.
Probably have you on if you're reaching out. That would be great. So yeah, email us if you have any episode ideas or things you want us to cover, or if you want your youth voice to be spread and for us to platform you, then please do so.
Or your old person voice.
Or your old person voice, but not so much your old person.
But allow us to spread our youth voice.
Yeah, and exactly.
It's kind of the point.
It's kind of the point.
It's like, I don't know what we're even
more so youth voice. Okay, bye!
You've been listening to Creative Speaks. Join us next time to hear more of what's going on inside young minds.